Hi, everyone. I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, and I was in the middle of filming a new dyeing video when I came across something that I wanted to make sure to share with all of you as soon as possible. So I was going through to get my Wilton's black out to do some dip dyeing, and I was looking through to double check to make sure I picked my red number 40 vial. Since I have the old Wiltons and the quote new Wiltons, and the older Wiltons had the red number 3 and the new ones had red number 40. When I was going through, I found two red number 3 vials. And I was like, this is odd since I just opened up one of these in my last live stream. How did I have a new vial with red number 3 in it? All of these newer vials of Wilton's Black I have purchased since last October. So they are all relatively new. So here I have two unopened ones. Let's see. This one, oh dear. Okay, we're not focusing, so. Okay, apparently I don't have much control over the focus when I'm live. That's annoying. Okay, so this one has red number 40, which is what I would expect and what I thought I had been using, because I thought all the new ones had red number 40. And this one has, wait, can I not read? Okay, now I have two with red number 40. So apparently, wait a minute. I came over here to do this and I took all these pictures. And did I grab the wrong ones? That is hilarious. This one, okay, here's the new red number 3. Okay, now I've got one. Okay, I've got my new one with red number 3 and my new one with red number 40. Coming back to sit down. Okay, that's hilarious that the intro picture, I'll have to update this. So this one, the first ingredient is blue 1, then red 3, yellow 5, yellow 6. This is what I had previously called the old formulation. And here I've got one that is red 40, then blue number 1, yellow number 5, then blue number 2. So because these have different formulas, that means that they will break differently when you use them for dyeing. And it can mean that some results could vary depending on which one you use. So the reason why I'm popping on to say anything is because I was really, really surprised. I thought that, the red number 3 was an old formulation and that wasn't something that was available anymore. It turns out either one of my stores has some really, really old Wilton's Black that they put out on stock, or both of them are still made, and so it's worth checking the ingredients before you buy them if you're buying them for the intention of dyeing yarn, because we know that these colors make a difference. Yes, good morning, everyone. I was very, very, very surprised because I started off in one of the live streams where I used my big pan and I did the bright colors. I started off with the red number 40 Wilton's Black and I grabbed a new vial. And that one had red number 3 in it, which I didn't realize until now because I didn't think to check the ingredients. So what I don't know is if one store had a batch that was all red 3 and a different store had a batch that was all the red 40s, or if some stores had a mixture of both in their stock. So that's not something that I can easily tell. Actually, I can flip around so you guys can see me now. There's no reason to keep looking at the files. So I don't know if they were in one store or, because I tend to buy food coloring at Michael's and at AC Moore. So it's possible that I got both of the red number 3 ones at one store and the red 40s at the other, or a mixture at one store. I just know that all of these vials that I have, I purchased since the earliest I purchased these was September 2017. So they are all pretty new. Now, I'm not too nervous about some of the other videos that I've done because I
I don't go through black as quickly as I go through violet. And so since I had both in one of my Ziploc bags, I would always check for the red 40. Have I considered calling Wilton's and asking about it? No, I haven't, and I might do that at some point. I'm. This is my last filming day before spring break and Passover, so I'm trying to film as much as I can. But next week, calling people to ask things is something that I can easily do with the kids around. So I will try that. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm really, really curious too. So, I was surprised enough that I was like, I have to tell everyone. So I think that of my videos, the only one that this really affected was the more recent one, was the recent live stream where I used a little bit of both. So yes, if you mix them together, you probably would get different breaking. I do have one video, and I'm not sure, I don't think I measured them really well. I have one video where I compared 3 different black food coloring formulations, and they do break differently. Because red number 3 binds to the yarn a lot faster and with less acid and heat than the red number 40, which takes a little longer. So, results can vary. And given that I am, it was really good for me to check. And it's not just the reds that are in here. One of them has 2 different yellows. One of them also has blue number 2, which isn't something that is commonly found. So, yeah, it's worth checking if you want a particular one. It's worth checking the ingredients before you buy. Yeah, I mean, I think that now that I have more of the one with the red number 3, I can play with it more. I haven't been using that dye as much because I thought that it was harder for people to find. Now, I mean, I think if you were going to order from a website, you might not know which one you were going to get. And I think that maybe on one hand, it doesn't really matter to the company, because if you're using it to make, black icing, you could probably use either one interchangeably. But the whole new formulation, old formulation vocabulary I had been using was because my ancient vial had red number 3 and all the more recent ones that I had seen had red 40. If you want to get a true black color, I think acid on wool yarns, then acid dyes I think are the best way to go. I mean, fiber reactive dyes, and there's other types of dyes that would work to get you a true black, but going for commercial acid dyes is definitely the easiest. I have once gotten something that approached a true black and not on stock yarn, because at some point you hit a limit of how much color you can add to your yarn. There are some people who have talked about this in the ChemKnits lab group on Facebook, where they have layered different colors in a way to get to a black. But that took some experimentation and things on their part. And they might use, something to soak up some of the color, and they were playing around with things a lot. Yes, so most of with both of all of with I guess with all of the Wilton's blacks and black food colorings, you usually end up with sort of a deep, depending on how much you use, you'll end up with like a purple and then some kind of blue. And that's pretty much the case with, I'm gonna now need to do, I think, a new red number 3 versus red number 40, or a new, compare the 2 black formulations using the concentration of dye that I like to use. I like, for Wilton's black, I tend to use my preferred amount of dye. I like to use a 1/4 teaspoon of the dye per 100 grams of yarn. So I'm going to need to do some more comparison here. But I would film this today, but I don't know. I think I might be out of, I'm waiting for my Wool of the Andes yarns and Stroll fingering weight yarns to come back in stock. So since I'm waiting on that, that means I'm going to have to wait a little bit more for these experiments. But yeah, I think that it's something that is a lot of fun, and it's always a lot of fun to play with. But, it's funny. When I buy Wilton's Violet, I'm really good at double checking to make sure that the formula hasn't changed. mainly because I think if I see the formula change, then I would run around to all the stores to get all the stuff I could find. But I mean, red number 3 is more of a fuchsia pink color, and so I think that red number 40, when you mix that with blues, you get something that's more like Kool-Aid, grape Kool-Aid, so less bright. And so that's why the red number 3 is used in that formulation. But yeah. Hee hee. Oh yeah, I don't have a nitpicks link in this video in my video description, so I can't say, "Oh, go check it out." I don't think the only link that I have in the video description is to my Patreon. So I guess I can plug that a little bit. If you want to get some behind the scenes sneak peeks, help contribute to what would come up in a new video, get early access to new videos, check out my Patreon. There's a link in the video description, and it's a lot of fun, and it helps support all of the fun dyeing videos that you guys enjoy. And yeah, so I'm offering some fun things with that, and so that is worth checking out. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me for this quick little PSA about double checking your ingredients. And so, I mean, when you're dyeing yarn with food, I mean, I think that if there's any dye that you love, there's always a chance that the manufacturer will change the formula, and that will make things, or discontinue a color, and so it'll make things different and harder to achieve in the future. So again, there's not exactly, like, there's batch numbers on the vials, but there's not exactly 6, 10, 9, 8, 1. Huh. They have different formulas, but they have the exact same stock number. So they have the same SKU, they're the same product. So I don't think that there's any way, if say you were going online, that you could order one and not the other, because they show up the same. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is something I don't think anyone would have really noticed if we weren't paying attention to this. So, but yeah, let me see if I can flip you guys again. So again, here we go. Oh, it's trash day. Okay, so this one, sorry, Indy, it's okay. It's just the garbage truck. Okay, so here is what I previously referred to as the old formulation. It has blue number 1, red 3, yellow 5, yellow 6. Yeah, I'm going to take a closer look at that in a second, but I think that they do have the same UPC code. And what I've been calling the newer formulation is the red number 40, blue number 1, yellow number 5, blue number 2. So, and this is the one that previously when I'd been buying it, this is the only one I'd been finding. The red number 3 was one that I had a long time ago, and that's why I thought, oh, look, they changed the formula. But maybe there is still some of it in stock. So let's see, let's take a look at these UPC codes. But I think, yep, they have the exact same barcode, the same numbers. So, you know, these are the same product. And again, I think that, well, I mean, I know some people tend to avoid certain food coloring compounds when they're eating. Some people have found that they're sensitive to one or another or something. So let's see. I don't see, and of course, I'm now not on camera. So there's a batch number on the lid, but I don't see otherwise any other kind of date on these, which is why I didn't know, unless it says, okay, so, oh no, that's just a copyright. One says copyright 2012, and the other one says copyright 2016. So, but the one that says copyright 2016 is the red number 3 one, not the red number 40. The red number 40 one says copyright 2012. So, okay, I'm going back into the kitchen because now let's look at all these other labels. I'm like pulling out all of my Wilton's blacks, and ta-da! That's what I was about to start dyeing. Wait, which code? On this code? Oh, the first two. Okay, so that's 16. Oh, is that true? Well, but then this one says 17. But not all, oh dear. Not all of mine have that number. Okay, so this one says copyright 2012, and this was another red 40. Okay, so this one was the one I just used up, and this was a red number 40. And let's see, okay, this one looks like it's from 2012, if that's the case, if the first two numbers are the year. And this is, I think, this is my old red number 3. And you can see that, like, even the fonts are different. And what does it say? This one says copyright 2008. The reason why I'm paying attention to that, because it might say something about when the labels were made. Okay, and this one, it's another 17. This is another red number 3. So, yeah, I mean, maybe so this one, maybe they're transitioning again. Oh goodness, I'm not a huge fan of transitioning again. And quick view of my messy house. Wait, it should be 2020, not 2018. What's the maximum amount of time Wilton's dye is still usable? Oh, so mine don't seem to say, I don't see an expiration date on them, but I've used like that one vial that before I'd been calling my old formulation is really old. It's at least, well, I guess if you look and see when my first ever Breaking Black video came out with Wilton's, that it was from then and then now, so probably at least 5 years. So Wilton's date code, first two are the year made, next 3 are the day. So it's good for 2 years from this date. Sure. Well, right. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily eat older ones, but I think that they still work fine for dyeing yarn for longer than that. But sounds kind of like how we need to remember to buy product quantities of yarn on the same dye lot. Yeah. Yeah, the 2-year rule the 2-year rule probably just applies to consumption. But man, so, it's worth checking when you go to your stores. I mean, it's possible then that, wait, but I bought some of these brand new. So I guess that means some of them are set to expire soon. Good morning. Oh, in the European version. Yeah, so these are definitely, I mean, I bought these ones in the US and these ones are manufactured in Illinois. I actually used to live near where Wilton's is located. But anyway, this is not necessarily a new development, but it's a new development to me. And yeah, I hadn't come across, so I don't know if they're transitioning their formula again. I honestly didn't even look any of this up. I just was like, I need to go tell people about this. So whatever this means for the future of the Wilton's Black food coloring, so I'm not even saying like, oh, you need to stock up or anything quite like that yet. But whatever this means for it, it means that you should pay attention to the ingredients that you see. And that, if you want a particular result, then you want to pay attention. Yes, no, some stores definitely have different turnovers, and so that can account from it. Which I don't know, is because I buy this in a few different stores, which store I bought this from. So, I mean, in theory, if I bought these ones last fall, it could have been from Joann's. So, well, I'm glad you get all excited. That means a lot. But oh man, okay, wait. I thought of something else. Oh dear. Sorry, you saw. Now you're seeing my really messy house. Okay. So I think this is my old red number 3. Okay, and this is a newer red number 3. And so they both have blue number 1 first, then red number 3, then yellow 5, then yellow 6. Okay. So the usually ingredients are in the order of like what there is most of. So the formulas, like the order of the ingredients is not identical between these ones, but the order of the colors is, so therefore it could be tweaked even more. I really, really don't know. But yeah, nevertheless, it's worth, again, check your ingredients, especially when you want to look for something to break. So, oh goodness, I've mostly hidden the disaster portions of my house. There's a reason why you only see, like why I'm always sitting like in the same corner by the front door. But anyway, thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for joining me today, and for this impromptu chat about black food coloring. I will, I'll update the comments in the video description here if I find any relevant articles or anything like that could give us some insight into what is going on. It might have made sense to Google this before coming on to chat with you, but I was too excited and confused, so I had to come straight on. But if you really enjoy my videos and want to help support them, please check out the Patreon. That link is in the video description, and it's a way to it's another way to subscribe to ChemKnits, and also, support it financially. And I've got some really cool perks for patrons. So I hope that you check that out. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye, everyone.